Okay, so if I have yet to get any hate towards me actually liking Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, then I'm probably going to get more, I'm actually probably going to get, a lot of hate for liking the movie I'm reviewing now. Yes, people, I am one of the many people, one of the few people, I should say, that actually enjoys Spider-Man 3. Now, to be fair, the only reason why I think this movie gets a lot of hate towards it is because no one will stop bitching about the obvious things. Yes, Venom is barely in the movie. Yes, Sandman's a wimp in the movie. Yes, Peter Parker is an idiot and does the freaking dancing across a window or whatever. I get it. You don't have to point out the obvious. I obviously saw all that happen, and I obviously, know that certain characters weren't in the movie that long, or if they messed up a character. I know that. Like, that's all I hear about this movie. That's the only things I hear about this movie when I watch, like, a review on it, like, online. That's all I hear. Just, hey, Venom was barely in the movie, Peter Parker's an emo in this, and he did a bunch of dancing in a jazz club. That's all I hear about this movie. We get it. We know. Like, can we point out the obviously good things in this movie? Like, what about the action scenes? The action scenes in this movie were amazing. They were as good as they were in the second movie. They were awesome. Like, what about that fight scene with Spider-Man in the subway fighting Sandman? That was awesome. Like, imagine that in 3D or in IMAX. That would be badass. That would be cool, dude. But no, we're not going to pay attention on all the good stuff in this movie, like the action scenes, or even some of the acting, or special effects. No, we're just going to, sit on and gripe about the Venom not barely being in the movie, or, what's-his-face, or Peter Parker, like I said, I don't need to explain myself again, or else I'm just going to be like the people I'm talking about. But, I have a lot of, like what Venom... Like, Venom in this movie, I understand, and when I first saw this movie when I was, 7, I was really pissed off that Venom was barely in the movie. I was so hyped up to see him, and I was just so excited to see him, do a bunch of badass stuff, jump around, beat the crap out of Spider-Man. I was really excited. But, they didn't have him in the movie. They had him in it for, a couple minutes. But, still, he was in the movie, you guys should be grateful. And the reason why he was in this movie, I actually read a rumor online about why he was in the movie, was that Sony, the company that I believe, markets this movie off, that markets the Spider-Man movies, they're the ones that wanted them to be in the movie. Sam Raimi never intended on Venom being in the movie. All he wanted to do was New Goblin, which he set up in Spider-Man 2, so he had to do that, and he was interested on doing Sandman. Those were the two villains that he was planning on doing. And, Sony, pushed for Venom because, Sam Raimi supposedly wanted this to be the last Spider-Man movie that he made, and he wanted it, just to be that. So Sony said, hey, wouldn't it be a good idea if we have Venom in it since it's the last, movie? And I just broke character because it doesn't matter. But, Sony pushed for Venom to be in it. He never intended on Sam Raimi never intended on Venom being in the movie. He didn't want him to be in the movie. So, Venom's fault was because of Sony. Sony was just being a bunch of idiots and wanted to just shove as many villains in there as they possibly could. That was the problem. They wanted, blame Sony, don't blame Sam Raimi. He didn't want to. And I could see as, this was sort of like Sam Raimi saying, F you to Sony because Sony, pushed for Venom, basically. And I don't blame the guy. It's pretty hard making a movie and also having the studio say, hey, yeah, you, the director, yeah, come over here, yeah. Listen, between you and us, do Venom. You do this. Do that. Do that. I know you're the director, but we're the studio. You do that. It's hard making a movie and then having the studio basically go ahead and say, and boss you around and doing, what you're doing, basically. That sounds stupid. But like what I'm getting at is that it's hard for a director to be yelled at by the studio to do something. But this could be a rumor. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe he did want him to be in it, but I'm not sure. Now, Sandman. Sandman in this movie is, from what I believe, not like he was in the comics. In the comics, he was just like he was just like a crook, and he got sand powers and some stuff like that. Yeah, I know, he's basically like that in the comics. Here, he's this guy down on his luck, basically, because his daughter's sick and stuff, and he gets turned into a sand monster guy, and, he's not like he was in the comics. I think the reason why they did that was because, because Sam Raimi wanted, Sandman to be sort of like, Dr. Octopus. He didn't want to make him a villain just to be a villain. He wanted to be, just like sort of on accident, just like a guy down on his luck. But I guess a lot of fans didn't, take it that way, so they just got all pissed off and stuff. But, whatever. Now, to say, there are some problems in this movie that I will excuse, but there are some problems in the movie that I do have. First of all, I do have a problem with Peter Parker being, emo in this movie. Who thought that up? Seriously, whoever thought that up, you should be fired. Who thought that was a good idea? Having Peter Parker dance around, acting like an idiot, wearing black, having his little, I can't do it right now, but his little emo cut and stuff, he just looked ridiculous. In the comics, Spider-Man just got, Peter Parker, he's got pissed off and stuff. That's it. It was nothing, he didn't walk around, going to jazz clubs and stuff like that. And he didn't. Stop that. Just stop. It's not funny. It's just stupid. But, another thing in this movie was Gwen Stacy lazily being shoved in there for no reason. Usually when characters are shoved in the movie, they do have some purpose of doing something in the movie. This character did nothing. She was in there just for fan service. Pretty bullshit fan service there. She was just in there just to be in there. And a lot of people still give these movies crap that, Gwen Stacy was supposed to be the first one. Well, yeah. Yeah, I understand, but it's not as bad as her being lazily shoved in the third movie for no apparent reason whatsoever. Just, it's stupid. Stop that. But, with those problems, with all the problems that this movie has been given, this movie is still a solid movie. It's really stupid, because a lot of people, give the first two movies praise, that they're, such great movies, that they're absolutely amazing movies, yet they still have some problems that this movie has. A lot of people say that this movie was, was too, a little bit more sillier than the other two movies. Other two movies were still silly. What about in Spider-Man 1, Green Goblin? He looked entirely silly and acted silly. What about Spider-Man 2, that whole montage of Peter Parker, walking down the streets, to the song, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head? I mean, that was, what, was that not, completely silly? You can have, silly Green Goblin and Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, but you don't have, emo Peter Parker policy? What the fuck? All these problems in Spider-Man 3 are completely, if you just let them go, it's still a good movie. Same way that the other two movies are good. If you just let go of the problems, they're good movies. They're still solid movies. Not the best movies, still good movies, and that's why I think this movie should be deserved with some respect. It still has a lot of good stuff in it. The action scenes, some of the acting, the special effects. All this good stuff, and, it has all these good things, but let's just, completely skip over those and pay attention on the bullshit that we've heard 3,000 other times before. Please, people, just, if you're gonna hate on the movie, if you're gonna hate all this stuff, then at least, give the movie credit on having some good things. All bad movies have some good things in it. That's why all bad movies should, at least, if people are going to hate on it, still at least give credit where credit is due and, talk about some of the good stuff, like I did. I said this movie was great, and then I also talk about some of those bad things that a lot of people say. So please, people, just, give the movie a chance, really. Like, please. Like, seriously, just please. But that's what I have to say on it. Sorry I had to go on a tangent at the end, but just wanted to get my thoughts across, basically. So, yeah. So, yeah, Amazing Spider-Man comes out tomorrow, so that's awesome. I'll be reviewing that. See you.